Good morning, guys and girls. Welcome to the morning drive. Sorry about the sound of the fans there. I'm trying really hard to defrost my windows. So we had a storm last night, and now I normally have to be at work around 9 o'clock a.m. Let me rephrase that. I have to be at work before 9 o'clock a.m. But I've been in my driveway trying really hard to just get all the ice off of everything. It is now 9:30, and I'm just starting this drive. Because, yeah, my car was completely frozen. We had freezing rain, then we had hail, then we had snow, and all of that layered on top of itself. So, but now it's really sunny, but everything's still frozen. Anyway, for those of you who don't know what the morning drive is, what I do is I drive to work. It's about a 15 to 20 minute drive. I have a feeling today's going to be more of like a 20-minute drive because of the roads. And during that time, I read the comments from the previous video. If I run out of comments, I just start to ramble about whatever I can possibly think of. And with that said, let's start off with the first comment here. And it is from Tabletop Banter. What did Steve say? I don't know. I'm assuming you mean in regards to the picking up a girl thing. And he said, when I told him, he was just like, no, I need someone who can take care of themselves and don't need me to look after them. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of agreed with that, but at the same time, I guess he didn't like the whole me trying to pick a girl for him. And the next question here is, do you follow any wargaming channels here on YouTube yourself? I do. I keep an eye on actually a couple different ones. I watch Chris's just because it's hilarious, and I like to bug him. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I like to bug him about random stuff. Just I've seen on the channel, like the bottle of lube, which wasn't lube apparently. I have many wargamings on there, but that's just so I can keep track of the comments and see what's going on with people's opinions of like all our videos. I watch Gaming with the Cooler. I watch Guerrilla Miniatures Gaming, Wargamer Girl. I think that's it. I have a lot of painting studios on mine for some reason. They never show any like how-tos on their painting like sites. They just do showcases. But it's always really fun to take a look at what they've done and be like, wow, that's really good. I actually was thinking about getting my Robute Guliman. I'm just gonna say the Ultramarine Primarch. I was gonna get the Ultramarine Primarch custom or commission painted, just because I don't think I should be able to find it. Oh, that sounded so bad. I don't think I'd be able to find the time to paint it on my own to a level that I'd be happy with. I asked for some price quotes. Got some numbers back and was like, ooh, well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So there's a chance that I might just actually commission this out because it's a really good model and I don't want to wreck it because I have to rush it at the end of the day. So that's all. But yeah, most of the time it's usually the I also listen to the Vaults of Terra. They're always fun for a good chuckle, just because the guy who does that channel is actually very, very good, and it's very entertaining to watch. Not really I guess it would be a wargaming one. It's more of like a wargaming lore channel, because he usually just does like the stories behind different chapters and the different factions and stuff like that, or he does like 40 facts you might not have known. So I really enjoy those. So anyway, sorry, I kind of rambled there for a good 3 minutes. Next question is from CJ Phoenix. Morning. If you somehow became first contact with exploratory alien race, what would you tell them about Earth? Oh, I don't know, actually. It's a combination of take me with you and please leave. I don't think. And that's the end of my sentence. I don't think. No. I don't believe I would make a good first impression, because it would start with me being like freaked out, incredibly freaked out, because it's an alien race. I'm assuming they got here somehow. I didn't just randomly wake up on some like other planet. And another thing is, if I'm the only one who had any contact with them, I wouldn't be able to tell anybody, because no one would believe me. I'd be like, I met an alien race. And they'd be like, uh-huh, okay, we're gonna put you in a ward now. So, but the first thing that I think would be good to say is hi, and see how they respond to that, or some sort of greeting. I think a visual greeting would probably work better than an auditory, just because this is a little more universal than hi. I know hi is pretty well understood, but that's only by people who speak English or have a weak understanding of the English language. Sorry, up to a weak understanding of the English language. Whereas a handshake is it's a very friendly gesture. I can't think of any. I'm sure there's somewhere in history where a handshake was considered offensive, but I can't think of when. It is really, really bright. Oh, so bright. It's like somebody shine coated the entire asphalt in front of me here, and the sun's just baking down on it. Ah, it hurts my eyes. Okay, I'm gonna be seeing purple later. All right. Next question I have is from Marcelo Despot. If your co-workers were animals, which animal would they be? I would think Dave would be a squirrel, Lee would be a dire wolf, Rob a regular wolf, Chris a bear or killer whale, Leland a panda, Quirk a fox, Steve a huge koala. What do you think? You forgot Matt. What would Matt be? I can actually see Steve being the panda. Very, very easily Steve would be a panda. He comes off very big and whatever, but he's super passive and I don't care. Yeah. I can see Dave being a squirrel, just because he's always spun. I'm trying to think of what Matt would be. I can't actually think of what Matt would be. A dolphin. Matt would be a dolphin. I don't think Rob would be a wolf. I almost want to say he'd be more like a raccoon. I agree that I would be a fox or a raccoon, something sneaky and not trustworthy. I will openly admit that. Oh, I know. Rob would be a turtle because he's so old and moves so slow. Lee? I can see Lee being a Wolverine. Very, very easily Lee would be a Wolverine. Or just a Wolverine. And then Josh would be a husky. Chris, I agree with Chris being a killer whale. Wholeheartedly. And Justin would be a sloth. And when I go to work, if Justin watches this, he's going to hit me. But that's pretty much become the way people greet me at work, so. Next up we have Brad Davidson. Thank you, sir. The bird. The bird is in fact the word, and everybody knows that. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Okay. Do you like spicy food? If so, what is your favorite? I do enjoy spicy food, and I don't go head over heels for it. I find that if I am drinking spicy food, or if I am eating spicy food, I need to have a drink of water or milk nearby. Otherwise, I'm just gonna burn my mouth out. My favorite though would have to be Thai food. Just any type of Thai food is probably one of my favorite spices. That or Mexican something. It's gone. Ah, I had it on the tip of my tongue and now it's gone. Yeah. So, alright. Alright, next up. Bjorn Leo. I like that you talk about Europe as if it's one country. Yeah, I know. Leave me alone. It's a... yeah. I don't know. Next up we have 2 times DJ Double J. Okay. Well, his name was in brackets. I figured I'd read it like that. Hey Quirk, what is the worst behavior you have ever seen by another wargamer? I think I've said this one before, and I don't. All right, I'll tell the story again. There is a particular individual in the local community here for War Machine, and I think he comes out here just to pick fights with people, but whatever. The first time I ever had to play him, I was fairly new to the hobby, and I had just picked up a circle army and had just finished painting it. Was really proud of it. It was a Bradigus army, or it was a Boulder army, so it was very stone heavy, and it wasn't very competitive, but at the same time it looked really cool on the board, and that's kind of what I was going for because I liked the look of the stone miniatures. And I ended up playing against this guy. Turn 2, he hits the thing I was hiding my caster behind, makes it invisible, shoots my caster, and I died. I'm like, okay, turn 2, I lost. I didn't know that person could do that thing. Now I know, and it won't happen. It won't happen again in the future. Like, you learn by your mistakes. Now, one of the common things that happens in War Machine is once the game's over, you and your opponent discuss tactics and what you could have done differently and what could have played out better and whatever. I didn't want to talk to this guy. I wanted to go see how other people were doing because I was there with a couple friends. So I was like, hey man, good game, shook his hand, started packing up my stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go see what my buddy's up to. And he goes, whoa. Well, I just want you to know, like, he was trying to get this conversation to start. And I'm like, okay, I don't really care. I don't care for this conversation at all, but whatever. And he goes, whoa, well, I thought you should know. It's not your fault. You don't play War Machine or Hordes. You play Circle, and you're very new to Circle, so that's your own thing. There's nothing wrong with that. And at this point, I'm confused. I'm like, what do you mean I don't play War Machine or Hordes? I play Circle. And he goes, I on the other hand actually play War Machine and I play Hordes because I don't just stay with one army. I own all the armies and they're all painted, and I've learned to play them all to a competitive level. So don't be upset that you lost to me, because to be honest, there was no real chance of you winning. But once you get good and start to pick up other armies, because let's be honest, this one's kind of a joke, then you can actually, probably get somewhere in a tournament. But there was little to no chance of you possibly beating me with this list, and considering how much I know, there's just nothing you could have done. Thanks. Okay. I'm gonna go now. I didn't really care for this conversation anyway. So I thought that was kind of rude, and this is the first interaction I ever had with the guy. I was like, oh, you're kind of a prick, but whatever. So, it's so gross out. So the guy was kind of a prick. And I mentioned it to a couple people. I was just like, hey, has anyone else ever had to play this guy? Is he new? Is he just I'm assuming not, but is he like that with everybody? And I didn't even get a chance to say the guy's name, and they were like, oh, you played that guy. And I was like, well, yeah, how do you know? And they're like, because he's done this to a lot of people. And there was a time when I heard Owen played against him and beat him, and he full-on rage quit. Game was over, he lost, instantly started picking up his models, didn't want to shake Owen's hand, didn't want to do anything, started packing it all up, and Owen's like, come on, man, you gotta shake my hand. It was the game to win the tournament, and there's people watching. So Buddy shakes Owen's hand, pulls Owen in, and says, I don't lose to people like you. And Owen's response was, well, apparently you do. So I was like, good for you, bud. But anyway, this is a common thing that's happened. So the jerkiest thing I've ever seen him do, and this is what I'm going to use to answer the question. I had to give a little backstory here, but we're at this tournament, and he had run a tournament prior, and one of the people who was at this tournament was also at his tournament that he had ran. And apparently he and this individual did not get along, on the grounds that he believed that the person who was playing the tournament coached his opponent to give him more points. So basically, it's just like he said, well, you know, this is what would have happened, and this would have happened, so I would have got this many points, and that would have been a bigger victory for me. And by doing that, he got more points and won the tournament. Mike had no way of proving whether this guy's name is Mike, whatever. I don't care. Had no way of proving whether this would happen or not. And let's say the other guy's name is Cody. And Cody basically was like, well, you have no way of proving whether or not this is true. So they didn't like each other. They were avoiding each other all through the tournament. And, well, as tournaments usually go, still can't see, it came to a point where they ended up having to play against each other. It was not a friendly game. They ended up getting a crowd around them because of just the arguing and the smack talk that was going back and forth. And at one point, Buddy thought that Cody, I have names for people now. Cody thought that Mike was not going to win. He figured there was no way that Mike could possibly pull out a victory here. So he started chirping him. So then Mike, getting frustrated, basically moved the miniatures so fast that Cody couldn't keep track and claimed himself a victory. Didn't use a tape measure, didn't do anything like that, just moved them freely. So there's no way of telling where the models came from, where they went, what had happened. And apparently other people had noticed prior that whenever Mike would roll dice, I'm trying to keep track of their names now, whenever Mike would roll dice, he would roll them, but would wait for Cody to not be looking in case it was a bad roll so he could scoop it and say that he got what he needed. And apparently there was a couple times during that game where he had rolled like double ones, scooped them and said it was a hit. And for people who don't play War Machine, double ones is always an automatic miss no matter what. So stuff like that was happening. So it ended off with him basically being like, well, you know what, you should have paid more attention. Boop, 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 moved them all really quick. And he's like, and I win. Well, Cody lost his mind at that point. Was like, that is really, you're gonna cheat now at this point? He's like, I didn't cheat. I moved it within like the normal limits I'm supposed to, and I dodged everything I was supposed to. There's more than enough room for me to do it. He's like, you need to measure it. Now the thing was, Mike was on a timer, and he only had about 13 seconds left to play out his turn. So he just moved the miniature as fast as he possibly could without giving any care for the timer whatsoever. So the timer went off, his turn was done, but Mike was claiming a victory, and there's nothing that Cody could do. So Cody basically said, I'm literally a second away from swiping the models off this table, jumping across it, and like physically assaulting you. And Mike's response was basically, well, you could, but then I'd sue you, and since I'm smarter than you, you would lose. So I think this guy just wants to pick a fight. But anyway, he is not the type of person that I wish to play against. I ended up having to play against him one other time, and I just conceded. First turn, laid out all the models. I did not like the guy at all, so I did a concede, which basically screws somebody out of all their possible points in a tournament. It's basically a concede at the beginning of the game is the equivalent of a tie, and me and this guy had to play against each other, and I basically was just like, okay, we put all our models down. I made no indication that I was going to be like conceding. First turn, he went, my turn started, and I went, I concede. At this point, there's no way of saying that I was just going to leave. There's no point in saying that, like, I did this on purpose because I did everything in the way I was supposed to, but I full-on claim to concede because I did not want him to win. Anyway, I have, like, 3 more comments here, so I'm going to read them really quickly. Dr. Williams, Quirk, have you ever been out the California way? If so, where? What did you do? Well, what did you do, and what was your favorite part? I was actually in San Francisco, and had a lot of fun there. I was there on Black Friday a long time ago. It was scary, but it was very, very fun. I like going to the Dwarf, just going out to Pier 34, I think it is. A lot of fun out there. Cody Asher, I remember Matt mentioning a sit and talk that he finds nudity and ludity to be the worst than decapitations and super violence and gore. Do you share this opinion? Also, any chance of maybe a Quirk at Work series where you and the others talk about stuff while painting? For the Quirk at Work thing, possibly. I've been trying to sneak a camera into the back office without them noticing, but they always notice because we watch out for cameras like hawks. The topic of Matt's opinion to nudity and ludity, I can't even say that word, but I know what it means. I don't think we share the same opinion on it. I am kind of indifferent to it a little bit. depending on the audience, obviously, I don't want like kids and teenagers and stuff like that to see things that are like way ahead of them. Um, but some people might say it's considered like different art forms. I just say people do what they want. I don't really have any control over it. If I can avoid it, I will. If it pops up, I'm not going to be like, oh, get it away, it's terrible. But that's just my opinion. Lane, just finished the Legion book last night. Good, awesome. I did really like it. I don't want to give out any spoilers though. I've started the next book in the Battle of the Abyss, but it hasn't caught my attention a ton just yet. I've tried to stay out in order of all the books, so I'm currently on number 8, I believe. I love them so far. Really dislike Descent of Angels, though. I posted a bit of a rant review on it an hour on the Horse Heresy forum and on the Mini Wargaming site, but nobody actually commented on it, so I don't know if anyone agrees with my assessment or not. Which kind of War Machine or Horde style of painting schemes do you prefer to see? True to the art, or what's the faction like and what Private Press paints them like? Or off the wall wild colors like pink or yellow, something very personalized, or is paint in general, painted in general just good? I I've kind of painted all my War Machine stuff different colors. I have like my Convergence stuff, which actually I saw a comment on YouTube about it, and it kind of bummed me out because it looks just gold on camera. But I used golds and silvers and bronzes, and on camera it all just looks like a solid blob of gold. I was like, ah, no. So kind of bummed me out there. My dwarf stuff is all like Tonka trucks and Bob the Builder and like construction type stuff. So I did that as a joke. But then if you look at my cephalic stuff, it's all painted very seriously. Like I tried really hard to get like the bruising to show up on the monstrosities and things like that. So I'm all over the board. It's just kind of what I feel like at the time when I start painting the army, and I just kind of stay consistent with that throughout. So, and last question here, Rare Gearsby. Okay. Hey, Mr. Quirk. It may be late to do this, but I was wondering, what is your opinion of the new Orcorian and Paint Knob Start Collecting Orcs set? Thanks, and keep quirking. I actually looked them up the other night because I saw this comment beforehand. I can't find either of those two that you're mentioning. Usually any of the Start Collecting Orc sets are pretty good. They kind of have their own little theme to them. I would have liked to have actually get a chance to see these before giving you an honest answer, but I don't want to give false information because I haven't seen them, so I don't know. Anyway, guys, that is it for the morning drive. I decided to finish up those comments because I was focusing mostly on talking and driving, so once I stopped, I got a chance to read the comments. As always, guys, if you want your question answered or comment just read out loud, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below for this video, and I will read it in tomorrow's video. Holding it a burp. Also, don't forget to comment just for the sake of commenting, share, and subscribe. It does most certainly help me out. And until tomorrow, guys, happy wargaming.